guys, so today I am going to give you 10 makeup tips that every beauty guru slash makeup artist or someone who really enjoys makeup should know about. Okay, so let's get started. Alright, tip number 1. Creaseless concealer. So, sometimes your under eye concealer creases a lot throughout the day, and you see lines, and then because of oily skin, like with me, it comes out bad and you have to reapply. So a tip to keep that lasting is to concealer with your eye cream, so your daily eye cream. If you just mix a little bit of eye cream with your concealer and dab it on your eyes and do your normal routine, that will keep your eye concealer lasting longer. Okay, tip number 2. Fix broken powders. So sometimes when I have a eyeshadow palette or a blush or something that breaks, what I do is I take rubbing alcohol and I put it in a spray bottle, like a little dollar store spray bottle. Then I take the thing that it's in, like say if this were to crack, you take the compact and you put the powder back, the cracked powder, you spray it, and then I take a spoon and I flatten it down and I let it dry, and it's pretty good considering it just cracked and now you can keep using it. So that's what I do for broken powders or eyeshadows. Tip number 3. So for my third tip, what I have is to keep your makeup organized. I think it's extremely important to have an organized space when doing your makeup. It'll save time during the day when you have to leave. If you have to go to work or if you have to go to school, you can do the 5-minute makeup challenge a lot easier. You don't have to be going through your makeup bag searching for everything or going through your house. You don't lose stuff because you put it back exactly where it belongs. And it's just easier for you to keep track of everything in your makeup collection. Tip number 4. Okay, so tip number 4, this is kind of an unconventional way of using a matte primer. I don't know how many people out there have oily skin, but I have oily skin, and what I do for my oily skin is I use Milk of Magnesia as my primer, and this is like gives you a really matte finish. It really helps for me because I have oily skin, and it doesn't break me out or anything. So you just put a little bit of Milk of Magnesia under your moisturizer, and you're good to go. Tip number 5. Okay, so for tip number 5, I have smudge-proof eye makeup. So what I mean by this is, for some of you out there who use eye cream under your eyes and on your eyes, sometimes during the day your eye shadow smudges and creases and everything. And a suggestion I have for you is, instead of using an eye cream, to use a eye gel, because the gel is not as oily and the shadow won't crease as much and won't like rub off easier. So that is my tip for smudge-proof eye makeup. So tip number 6. Okay, so for tip number 6, I think it's really important to set your makeup with a finishing spray. My favorite finishing spray I have here is the Urban Decay setting spray. Now, you can use whatever setting spray you like. That's just the one I like. But I really believe that it works really well, and it definitely makes your shadow last, all your makeup last longer throughout the day, and you won't have to reapply as often, and it also decreases fine lines like in your face, and it also reduces the shine. So if you have oily skin, it'll help reduce the oily skin, the shine on your forehead. So for tip number 7, I have acne prone skin, so what I do to conceal it, it's not so easy to conceal acne all the time. So what I do is I first take my moisturizer and I do my whole face makeup. I pat a little bit of moisturizer over the area that I want to conceal. Then I take Laura Mercier's Secret Camouflage and I pat that over the same area. You can use a brush or you can just use your finger. I usually just use my finger. It's easier for me. Then I take a stippling brush like this one, and I put a little foundation on it, and then I stipple the foundation over the area that I want to conceal, and that really gives me a flawless, or conceals my acne a lot better than it would if I were just to put concealer over it. Then after, you can always finish your face with any type of finishing powder or finishing spray. Okay, so tip number 8. Okay, so for tip number 8, I have a routine that I use to get flawless foundation. And what I do is I take a kabuki brush and kind of like this, except a flat kabuki brush, and I dot foundation with my face, over my face with my finger, and then I take the kabuki brush and I stipple the foundation with the kabuki brush, and after I do that, I buff with the kabuki brush, buff the foundation out with the kabuki brush, and then I follow up with a beauty blender. Now, you can get a beauty blender at Sephora, but I purchased mine at Marshall's for like $3, so it's a lot cheaper than Sephora's beauty blender. And that really gives me a flawless foundation. Like I said, with my acne prone skin, I need to get the most flawless foundation I can, and that really gives me a flawless finish. Tip number 9. Okay, so for tip number 9, I have a do-it-your-own gel liner, or liquid liner. So what I do is you can use any old drugstore eyeliner. I light the end of the eyeliner, the pencil eyeliner, and I light it for like 2 seconds, and I let it cool for 15 seconds, and it gives you a really good gel liner, like really dark and really like almost like a kohl eyeliner. And it's a lot cheaper than kohl liner. You can just use any old drugstore eyeliner. Tip number 10. Okay, so for tip number 10, I have a little tip for blending eyeshadow correctly. Now, sometimes when you're in a rush, it's hard to get the perfect blend, and you don't want to look like a clown or look ridiculous. So my little tip that I have is, after you applying your primer, your eyeshadow primer, you apply an eyeshadow that's iridescent, so like the same color of your skin, and you apply the sheer iridescent skin tone eyeshadow in your outer corners, so like wherever you're trying to blend your shadows, that's where you would put it, so to make it look easier to blend. And also I would use a fiber optic pointed crease brush to apply the crease eyeshadow, and that really helps in blending. It gives you an easier, better control, and it blends a lot easier. And obviously, when you're blending eyeshadows, when you have dark colors you're using, make sure you build up to it. You don't want to start off with like a lot of product on your brush and going in, and then you look ridiculous, you have to take it all off. You start small and you build up, and that really gives you a better overall finish, and it gives you a better chance to make that perfect eyeshadow, make the perfect eye without looking ridiculous. Okay, so that is all my tips for you. If you like this, please put a thumbs up. Comment down below if you have any questions. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.